going to be a different kind of a day where there's not one sermon that I offer, but rather you all are invited through poetry and reflection and ritual to bring your own reflections and awareness of the fall. So I'm offering now my second poem of the day. This is by Wendell Berry, and it's called I Go Among Trees and Sit Still. I invite you to settle and hear these words. I go among trees and sit still. All my stirring becomes quiet like circles of water. My tasks lie in their places where I left them, asleep like cattle. Then what is afraid of me comes and lives a while in my sight. What it fears in me leaves me, and the fear of me leaves it. It sings, and I hear its song. Then what I am afraid of comes. I live for a while in its sight. What I fear in it leaves it, and the fear of it leaves me. It sings, and I hear its song. After days of labor mute in my consternations, I hear my song at last, and I sing it. As we sing, the day turns, the trees move. I invite you now into a time of reflection as we stand in the balance of light and dark, in the balance of harvest and decay, in the balance of heat and cold, dry and wet. Summer can be a time of immense growth, heat, gathering, travel. And as we begin to be shaped by the rhythms of fall, I want to invite you to consider what you are harvesting from your summer bounty and fullness. What are you thankful for that you carry with you into the future to nourish? Fall is also a season of letting go. We learn as the trees release their leaves or as they slow down their growth in the Pacific Northwest with all of our evergreens to preserve their energy through the cold, dark winter. We can't help but follow that natural flow that tells our bodies to hunker down and settle in, to lighten and release what no longer serves us as we travel into the fall season. What are you ready to release today, to let go of? And while it may be invisible to our eyes, the dormancy of fall is also the beginning of germination. Tubers, root systems, mycelium buried deep into the cold, dark, wet for their necessary period of dormancy, of soaking in the deep, dark. What in this season do you plant? What do you need to tuck deep into the earth and then forget about it, allowing it to work in its own time and its own mystery? What are you ready to bury, to germinate in God's holy, dark soil? As you're ready, upon reflection of these questions, I invite you to find your way to each of three stations. One here, one toward the back there and one toward the way back. You'll find some supplies and tools to help anchor these reflections. So you can either stay at the station and do some work, you can take it back with you and kind of write on the back of a hymnal. But there's one, we have leaves, which we are releasing, and I thought it was very appropriate that the leaves are cut out of some really old lined writing paper that's browning around the edges. So we're releasing that as well from the church. And then we have at the back here some tomatoes. Use your imagination, they're tomatoes. And for harvesting, and then some seeds, which are black, which seeds are typically not, but they represent the cold dark that they'll be planted in. You'll hold on to those once you finish them. And you can write, or if writing and, art stuff, even if it's just writing is not your thing, you can just sit. It's fine. Those of you online, you can have a couple options. You can draw yourselves the tomato, the seed, and the leaf, or you can just write it. You're also welcome to send me in chat, privately or publicly, and I can write it for you because we'll be bringing them up at the end to kind of present them. If you choose to, you can also hold on to them. But if you choose to, we'll come up front later on and plant our seeds, harvest our tomato, and allow our leaves to fall from the tree. So Kathy's going to play some music for about 10-ish minutes. No, not 15. Y'all will never let me do a service like this again if it's 15, 20. So take your time. You can sit in your seat. You can move around, whatever you feel called to. And then I'll let you know when we're ready to kind of regather. Okay? you, if you choose to come up front and place the items on the altar, on the chancel. Can we get a mic, please, Doug? If you choose to, you can share out loud or a word or two. You don't have to. You can just place them and keep walking. I do ask that you come through this way, up the stairs here, cross here, and use the stairs here, just for everyone's safety. If you would please use the two side stairs, not the front stairs as I just did. So, as you are ready, come on up. You can signal if you need the mic or just keep moving. We will plant our seeds in the earth. We'll harvest our tomatoes in the wood basket, and you can find a piece of tape to stick your leaf. Okay? All right. Come forward, church. Those who are online also feel free to just speak aloud what you're sharing if that's what you feel called to do.
Letting go of judging, force, and hurry.
The tree is very low. Let me know if you'd like help to plant your leaf. It's not meant to be a challenge for knees.
I'm letting go of fear. I'm grateful for new beginnings, and I'm hoping to germinate deep faith.
It's double stick, so you can just place it. There's another one. This way. And anyone online care to voice? No pressure.
There is a poem.
I did see that poem. I was going to share that poem. There was another poem added from our online community. I mean, it's our community. Those who are worshiping online today, I should say. So there's a poem that's been shared here online. I'm happy to read this, or the person who shared it can read it too. I will go ahead and read it. This is Trees by Joyce Kilmer. I think I shall never see a poem as lovely as a tree whose hungry mouth is pressed against the earth's sweet flowing breast, a tree that looks at God all day and lifts her leafy arms to pray, a tree that may in summer wear a nest of robins in her hair, upon whose bosom snow has lain, who intimately lives with rain. Poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. Thank you, Jessica. So, some of this work is deeply personal, and even as we are grateful to do it in community, and sometimes it feels appropriate to voice it or share it, and sometimes it feels appropriate to keep it with us. So, whichever one you chose today, it was a good choice for you. Let's hold all of these reflections, those made in our hearts, those expressed through symbols, those shared aloud, as we receive this poem called A Mabon Crown, written by Annie Finch. And as I mentioned before, the equinox, the autumnal equinox, is known by many pagans as the Mabon Festival. Our voices press from us and twine around the year's fermenting wine. Yellow fall roars over the ground, loud in the leafy sun that pours liquid through the doors. Yellow, the leaves twist down as the winding of the vine pulls our curling voices. Glowing in wind and change, the orange leaf tells how one more season will alter and range, working the strange colors of clamor and bells. In the winding of the vine, our voices press out from us to twine. When autumn gathers, the tree that the leaves sang reddens dark slowly, then, suddenly free, turns like a key, opening air where they hang. And the winding of the vine makes our voices turn and wind with the year's fermented wine. One of the hanging leaves, deeply maroon, tightens its final hold, receives, finally weaves through, and is covered soon in the winding of the vine. Holding past summer's hold, open and strong, one of the leaves in the crown is gold, set in the cold where the old seasons belong. Here is my crown of winding vine, of leaves that dropped, that fingers twined, another crown to yield and shine with a year's fermented wine. Let's allow all of this to settle as we sing together, call